What is up, my fellow gamers? In today's video, we got our best hero tier list for Disney Pixel RPG. Like and sub for more amazing game content. We finally got Disney Pixel to work on BlueStacks, so we got a really nice setup. We got the tier list above me. We got BlueStacks on the side, so we're going to be talking about the characters as we go ahead and rank them. As always, tier lists are opinionated. You may or may not agree with my opinion. Also, the way that I'm ranking characters now is kind of based on the content that we have right now as well. So in the future, when we get more content, new levels and such, the tier list will definitely change, because right now some characters are a lot more useful than others because there really isn't a lot of content in this game. You know, there's only 3 chapters. First one we'll go with is Carnival Mickey Mouse. He is your first AoE damage dealer, so your area attack. Overall, Carnival Mickey Mouse, okay character for starting off, but really is not that great compared to some of the other ones. We have a lot more AoE damage dealers, so unfortunately we got to put you in the B for right now. There's just better options. Next one we're gonna go with is Carnival Minnie Mouse. Now, I absolutely love Carnival Minnie Mouse for one big reason, and that is the fact that she has the ability to cure poison. So you can go ahead and you can restore 30% of the max HP to allies, plus you're curing poison, which is so helpful. Now, there are other healers who can restore a higher percentage, like Baymax has the highest, even DJ Mickey Mouse restores like 40%, but being able to also cure the poison helps out a lot. I was really suffering from the poison effects that the enemies were putting on my team, so she helped out a lot by just removing the poison and also getting a little bit of healing as well. For me, Carnival Minnie Mouse is easily one of the top tier characters. I'm going ahead and putting her in the S for the ability to remove poison and also heal your team. Also, for Minnie Mouse's EX skill, every 5 turns you just go ahead and restore 20% of your max HP to allies. So you're getting free healing every 5 turns, which is really awesome. Next one we got is going to be Carnival Goofy. He goes ahead and he just does damage to a single enemy. His SP cost is relatively low. It only costs 15, but his skill just in general just doesn't do a lot. Goofy's EX skill on defense up is at least a level 3 or more, and attacking one time you deal damage to one enemy. You know, he's okay, but really, like, you know, there's a lot better options for single target DPSs. So unfortunately, Carnival Goofy really just falls off compared to a lot of the other characters. Going ahead, putting him at the bottom in the B. Next one we got is Carnival Daisy Duck. Now, I absolutely love Daisy Duck. She goes ahead and buffs our entire team 2 main important stats. Our entire team's attack gets increased, and also defense as well. And then once you go ahead and actually level break her for her first level break, you're also going to get a level 1 HP regen for 3 turns as well. So level breaking her, she becomes like the ultimate buffer. You're getting attack up, defense up, and HP regen. Insanely strong. EX skill, after allies take damage 8 turns, she goes ahead, deals heavy damage to one enemy. The EX skill is okay, you know, it's just random free damage, but those buffs for her main skill, very strong. For Carnival Daisy, we're going ahead, we're putting her in the S, very strong buffer. Next one we got is going to be Carnival Chip. He goes ahead and he increases the SP gain up for allies for 3 turns. And then once you go ahead, limit break him, a level 2 SP charge for 3 turns. His EX skill, when at 40% or more max SP, you got an 80% chance to deal damage to enemies. Overall, Carnival Chip is decent. He's not horrible, but he's not like super duper broken either. For me, he's about an A. He can be very good in certain situations and very good for certain team building when you really need a character who's going to give you that SP gain. Next one we got is going to be Carnival Dale. He goes ahead, deals massive damage, heavy damage to one enemy, and he is a red striker. So for this instance, the game is a little bit weird right now because we have certain characters that are like red strikers, yellow strikers, blue strikers. And basically what it means is it is like the rock, paper, scissors counter wheel. So like a red striker will deal more damage to a specific type of enemy that is like a certain element or something. They're good in certain situations. I'm going ahead, I'm putting him at like the A+. I can't quite put him at an S just because his rarity is so low. If he was a gold, then I would put him at like the S because of that red striker ability right there at the bottom. But because he's only a bronze, I'm just putting him at like the A+ for right now. Then we got Carnival Pluto. Carnival Pluto, really weak. You get a defense up to allies for 3 turns. When you go ahead and level break him, you get a level 2 evasion as well for the EX skill. We've got every 2 turns restore 10% of max HP to allies. Unfortunately, there's just way better options. We're going ahead, we're putting Pluto in the B. Then we got the evil ruler, Maleficent, easily for me a top tier double S. Has an AoE attack that deals tons of damage. When you go ahead and level break her, she gets a defense down for 3 turns on enemies. So basically AoE damage, and then if you don't one-shot them, all of their defense is going to be reduced. So really high DPS, one of the top tier DPSs in the game. Next one we got is going to be the Thief, Flynn Rider. He is a yellow area striker, so you're going to deal damage to enemies, and you're going to also get that yellow striker ability. An A+, you could say like an S- because he is a yellow striker, but his rarity for me is just too low. Next one we got is the legendary warrior Mulan. Really strong AoE damage dealer. You're also going to get a attack down for 3 turns once you go ahead and level limit break her, which is good, but I think the Maleficent one is better because, you know, you're reducing their defense to destroy the rest of the enemies with your other characters' turns, whereas the attack down is kind of more so if there's going to be a lot of rounds. Like if you're going up against a boss battle or something, then Mulan can be a lot better. The EX skill, after allies attack 5 times, you just deal heavy damage to 1 enemy. I really do like that. Like I said, I think Mulan is really good for boss battles. Even though she is like dealing AoE damage, that attack down and her EX skill is really strong. For me, she's like an S-. I'm going ahead, I'm putting her at like the back of the S. Next one we got is going to be Peter Pan, deals massive damage to 1 enemy. This is going to be a green striker, and when you do go ahead and limit break them, which I got super lucky and I pulled another copy of him in the gacha, so I was able to level limit break him, we get a defense down for 3 turns as well. So we're dealing tons of single target damage, and then we're reducing the enemy's defense as well. Really amazing character. Going ahead, putting Peter Pan in the S. Definitely well deserved, and we're also getting a green striker ability. Next one we got is going to be Neverland Tinkerbell. Now I do like her because she's a really strong buffer, but she really shines, and I mean I would almost put her at the S, maybe like an S-. Once you limit break her. So once you get that limit break effect, she's really strong. So her first skill, you go ahead and you get a crit chance up to all of your allies for 3 turns, which is good. But that first limit break effect, you get that added effect right here. Level 1 crit power up for 3 turns. So you're not only increasing the crit chance, but you're also increasing your crit power. So really, I mean, 2 things go hand in hand, very devastating. The EX skill, every 3 turns, you're getting a crit power up to allies for 3 turns. So she can just make your characters hit extremely hard. As long as you get that first level limit break on her, man, she is a monster buffer. For me, I'm going ahead, I'm putting her at like the front of the A. I think she's like an A+, S-. It's really close. Next one we got is going to be Special Agent Judy. This is going to be a gold legendary character. Lots of single target damage, but is going to be a white striker. Level break effect, you have a defense down for 3 turns, which really comes in handy. Overall, just a solid character for single target, and specifically, you know, if you need someone who is a white striker. So we're going ahead, we're putting her at the S, like basically right next to Peter Pan. Just, they do kind of the same thing. They just have, you know, a different striker color, white striker, and Peter Pan's different. The EX skill for Agent Judy is really good though. At 90% or more of max HP, you got a 100% chance to deal heavy damage to one enemy. So you're getting lots of just extra damage if you can keep her HP, you know, topped up all the time. Next one we got is going to be Special Agent Nick. Now this guy is insanely strong, especially when you get his limit break effect. Deals heavy damage to one enemy, good. But I love that he has that paralyze for 3 turns. And then once you do go ahead and get his break effect, you have a level 1 skill lock for 3 turns. So this guy is just kind of like the ultimate crowd control character, putting paralyze on the enemy, skill locking them. And then the EX skill, after attacking 2 times, you're going to deal heavy damage to one enemy. Really awesome character that can help you out a ton. For me, easily at the top of the tier. We're putting him at the S. Right there with Minnie Mouse. Next one we got is going to be DJ Mickey Mouse. This guy is pretty solid early on. He has 40% of max HP to allies for healing, so he's a pure healer. The limit break effect, you're going to be able to restore paralyze, so anytime one of your characters has that paralyze, he goes ahead and he cures it, which is good. His EX skill, own HP regen, is at level 2 or more, and attacking 2 times, you get a level 3 defense up to self for 3 turns. He's a really good healer early game, but I definitely think there are some kind of like better options, like Minnie Mouse's cure for poison comes into handy, I feel like a lot more than DJ Mickey Mouse. So for me, I'm going ahead, I'm putting DJ Mickey Mouse at like the top. He's kind of like right next to Tinkerbell, like an A. Next one we got is going to be Ukulele Stitch. This is another one I think is a really good buffer. He's not like insanely strong, but he's a solid pick. You get the crit chance up to allies for 3 turns. You get the HP regen for 3 turns. And then you also are going to get a crit power up as well. So if we go and take a look at our limit break effects, we have our added skill effect right here. The first limit break, we're going to get that crit power up for 3 turns. So we get that crit chance, crit power up, and HP regen. Really solid, awesome buffer. But again, you have to get his limit break to really get his full potential. His EX skill, after allies use an EX skill 3 times, he deals heavy damage to one enemy, which depending on your build, your situation, that can be kind of hard to pull off. Or it could be really easy to pull off. So depends on how you go ahead and you build like a team with him. For me, solid A. I think he's like, you know, right there next to DJ Mickey Mouse, probably, you know, the same or a little bit better. Next one we got is going to be the singer Marie. She is one of the very few taunters that we have in this game. She goes ahead, has a level 1 taunt to self, so forces the enemies to attack her. We also have a SP charge for 3 turns, which is really good. And then once you get that limit break effect, we have a damage reduction for 3 turns. So the damage reduction is what the heavy warrior Goofy already has. So basically, once you limit break her and get this extra effect, she becomes kind of like you know, a weaker version of heavy warrior Goofy. So yeah, it's okay. She's not horrible, but you know, if you don't have the heavy warrior Goofy, then she's an option because she at least has that you know, ability to go ahead and put a taunt on. But for me, she's like an A, not that great, but also not horrible either. Next one we got is going to be Honey Farm Piglet. Restores 30% of max HP to allies, so we're getting a healer. But what I like is the restore stun. So if your characters get stunned, they pretty much lose their turn, which really sucks. So just being able to completely remove that so that you don't waste an entire turn doing nothing can be really, really important in certain situations. If you're going up against enemies who aren't going to stun you, it really doesn't help you out that much. When you go ahead and get that limit break effect, you get a cure skill lock as well. So pretty much basically Piglet becomes a really good character who removes debuffs from your party. So for that instance, Piglet for me is like an A. You know, good in certain situations when you're going up against enemies and, you know, that are putting stuns and skill locks, very, very helpful. Otherwise, like not like a pure healer. The EX skill, after allies take damage 8 times, we get an attack down to enemies for 3 turns, which is okay. It's, you know, a little bit of extra stuff, nothing like crazy. Next one we got is the Honey Farm Tigger. Honey Farm Tigger, really not that good, especially for a character that's a silver. You would kind of expect a little bit more, but deals a bunch of damage to one enemy. When you get their limit break effect, you have the ability to do the paralyzed for 3 turns. But like we mentioned before, Nick already has that built into him, and he doesn't even have to be limit breaked, and he already has that paralyze on an enemy. The EX skill, after attacking 2 times, you get a crit power up to self. Great, going ahead, putting them in the B. Next one we got is going to be the Honey Farm Eeyore. Now, unfortunately, Eeyore is in the same predicament as Tigger, another one that's a silver that's really not that good. Deal massive damage to one enemy, and then you get a attack down for 3 turns. Once you go ahead, limit break them, we're getting a defense down for 3 turns as well. So limit break, they can be pretty good against boss battles because you're reducing the attack, and then limit break, you're also getting the defense down. So they can be good in certain situations, but overall, I think there's just a lot better options out there right now. The EX skill, 70% or less max HP, and using a skill 1 time, you're going to get a defense up to self for 3 turns, which the EX skill doesn't really help us because, you want Eeyore seems to be more of a damage dealer, so increasing Eeyore's defense just kind of seems a little weird to me. It's not really going to help you out the way that you're going to be using Eeyore. You want to be using Eeyore offensively. Going ahead, putting them in the B. Next one we got is going to be the Heavy Warrior Goofy. Now, this guy is insane. He's arguably the best bronze character in the game. He goes ahead and he taunts. He has the taunt, one of the very few characters that has the taunt. But you're also getting a damage reduction for 3 turns as well. So he's basically saying all enemies attack me, but I'm also going to reduce the damage that you put on me. And then when you limit break him, he increases his evade as well. So it makes it even harder for the enemies to hit him. So this guy is insanely strong, especially when you limit break him. Even just not even limit breaking him, he's very, very useful. EX skill, after defending 2 times, your defense up to self for 3 turns. So basically what you do is you use his special ability to do taunt, and then you're just going to keep defending with him. So you're not going to attack with him, you're just going to go defend, defend, defend every time, and you just want all the enemies to constantly attack him. Really amazing bronze character. For me, easily, I would say he's a double S. He's really broken in that aspect. The only thing that I don't like is that he is such a low rarity. Because he is such a low rarity, his level limit is going to be lower than everyone else. Next one we got is going to be the Archer Donald Duck. This is another one that I feel is really weak. You get evade to self for 3 turns. That's it. He's not even dealing damage, which is just, this is just stupid. And then we get a limit break effect is going to be a damage reduction for 3 turns. So he's like trying to be a half-assed tank, basically, by having evade on himself and then a damage reduction, but he doesn't have a taunt. So it's kind of like, what's the point? EX skill, after attacking 3 times, you get an attack up to allies for 3 turns, which is pretty decent. I like the EX skill, but his main skill, not that great for me. Sorry, buddy. We got to put Mr. Archer Donald Duck. He's down at the bottom in the B area. Next one we got is going to be Scientist Mickey Mouse. Now, for this guy, you're getting an attack up to everyone for 3 turns. So he's kind of like a worse version than Daisy, some of our other buffing characters. When you go ahead and limit break him, then you get the defense up as well. So he is a worse version of Daisy Duck. Unfortunately, not that great. Going ahead, putting him in the B. We've got Adventure Pinocchio. This is another one, really weak character. You deal heavy damage to one enemy, but that's it. You don't get anything else. Once you do get that limit break effect on him, you're going to get the paralyzed, which again, we have other characters like Nick who already have that built into them, and you do not have to go ahead and limit break them. So Adventure Pinocchio, easily bottom tier B. Next one we got is Little Elephant Dumbo. This guy is okay. I think he's a little bit better than a B. For me, he's like an A minus. You get the evade to allies for 3 turns, which can be very helpful. You know, gives the chance that the enemies miss. You also get an SP gain up for 3 turns, which can help. And then the limit break effect, we're getting HP regen. So some really cool buffs on your team. For me, he's at the back, like a A minus for me. Maybe even like a B plus. I mean, honestly, I'd put him like at a B plus. I think he can be good in certain situations, but all right. And finishing it up, we got a few extra characters that we got to go over. We've got our Carnival Donald Duck. Deals massive damage to enemies. He's going to be a yellow striker. When you go ahead and limit break him, you get the defense down for 3 turns, which can be very, very helpful. EX skill, after attacking for 3 times, deal heavy damage to 1 enemy. So Carnival Donald Duck easily for me is like a top tier double S, because his yellow striker is very, very useful right now in this, you know, the campaign, the levels that we do have unlocked. And his EX skill really, really strong. The fact that, you know, after 3 times you attack, you just randomly get just extra damage. So what we got is going to be the Enchanted Princess Aurora. Deals tons of damage to 1 enemy. We got an orange striker. So good, you know, for orange. And then once we limit break her, we get an attack down. The EX skill we got his own attack up is at least level 3 or more. And using a skill, we're going to get a crit chance up to self. For me, she's going to be in that S area where, you know, Judy and Peter Pan, they're good. They're specific elemental colored strikers. Next one we got is Enchanted Princess Rapunzel. She is arguably what everyone would say is like the best healer in the game. You know, right next to Baymax even. Restores 50% of max HP to allies. And then we're also getting a Restore Paralyze and a Restore SP Lock once you go ahead and limit break her. These numbers are kind of that I'm mentioning are when they're maxed out as well, because I just personally don't have these characters unlocked just yet, so I'm going off of the max characters that I'm seeing. The EX skill we got is when under 3 or more support effects, we got restore 10% of max HP to allies. So Rapunzel, really strong, amazing healer for me. Double S easy. We got the Guardian, we got the Jewel Guardian Genie. Now I think the Genie is probably the best buffer in the game. I know we have some other really good ones, but I think Genie's the best buffer. We're getting an attack up to all allies. We get a damage reduction, and then we're also getting the evade for 3 turns as well once you limit break them. For our EX skill, it's 75% or more of our max HP, and we use a skill 1 time. We're going to just randomly deal heavy damage. So because of that, you know, Genie is able to buff everyone, and then with the EX skill, he's going to attack. Next one we got is Honey Farm Pooh. Another one that's a really good a buffer for me. We've got our defense up to allies. We've got HP regen, and then the limit break, we've got evade for 3 turns. The EX skill we got is when our own defense is up at least level 3 or more. We're just going to go ahead and deal heavy damage to 1 enemy. For me, I feel like Pooh is not quite an S, double S. I'm putting Pooh as like an S plus for me. I think Genie is better than Pooh, so I can't really, you know, I don't want to put them in the same. I think Pooh is a little bit weaker than Genie. Next one we got is Hero Mickey Mouse. We have a deal massive damage to 1 enemy, so lots of single target damage. We have a blue striker this time, and the limit break effect we get is a defense down. It's a striker type character, but the blue right now isn't like extremely useful. But it can be in the future, so that's why we're putting them in the S for right now. Next one we got is going to be Robot Baymax. This is another one that's arguably like one of the top tier, like first best or second best healers in this game. Pretty much he has the highest amount of restoring HP. So when you first get him, he restores 50% of max HP, and then once you go ahead and increase that, it can go up to 60% max HP. He also has the ability to restore stuns as well, or basically remove stuns from characters. And then the EX skill we got is every 4 turns, we're getting an HP regen on our allies. So amazing, amazing top tier healer. I would say, right next to Rapunzel. Either one of those could be like the best healer. I would say the best pure healer is going to be Baymax. But Rapunzel not only heals, but you get some extra bonuses with Rapunzel. The ability to remove debuffs from your team. So that can be really handy, depending on your situation. But that, my friends, right there, I'll go ahead and let me make this a little bit bigger for you. So let me go, I'll make this like this, and I'll stretch it like this. So that right there, my friends, is my personal tier list. I hope you guys and girls enjoyed the video. Stay happy, stay safe. I'll see y'all later. Peace.